I'm so glad that you're all here today, and I'm so glad this beautiful day out here today too. So we're going to take a Birds and Blooms walk here at Grammar Grove, and I just happened to grab these 3 posters here that we had at the office, and these are extra ones, so I'm going to give them away here. But this is called Birds of Two Worlds, and it shows some of the migrants that spend the winter down south, even into South America, that will come up here in the summertime. And see this guy right here? This is called we'll show it on the camera there. This guy right here. Can you zoom in on? Rose-breasted grosbeak. He was singing to us right before lunch. So I'm hoping that we will see one or hear one when we're out on the trail too. And see, what color are you noticing with this one?
Purple.
Yep, it's a white to lavender. They also come in really, a darker purple too. This is Sweet William or Wild Phlox.
I know that, ma'am.
Good. Yeah, that's a nice one. It's a little bit later wildflower. The early spring flowers have already passed. Usually I do my wildflower walk and catch those what we call spring ephemerals, some of the earlier ones. But this year I wanted to do some of the little later ones because we don't often get to see the Sweet Williams or hopefully some of the other ones we're going to spot today. So here's the plant right here. Very tiny yellow petals. This is a buttercup. It's a type of buttercup. Has a couple of different names. Because it has such small petals on it, one of the common names is small petaled buttercup. Or if you're looking at the leaf shape, it's called kidney-leaved buttercup. We were hearing the chickadee. Yeah. Chickadee-dee-dee, chickadee-dee-dee. Yep. Little chickadees. This is a very appealing tree to me.
Yeah. That kind of.
Look, why would the bark be peeling off of a tree?
Because it's dry.
Because it's dry.
It's really dry, Mrs. Hall. And it's very dry up. It won't even turn white at all, Mrs. Hall.
This tree right here, you might think that it's dying or drying up, but that's typical. This kind of peeling bark is typical for this tree. It's the shagbark hickory. So I grew up in southeast Iowa. We had lots of shagbark hickory, so I always like it when I see this type of tree. And it might be a little bit hard to see right now, but the trees when they're small, they have these really large buds on them because you've got a compound leaf that's going to come out of there. And it'll have red on it, and I see some right up here. If you look at the young leaves coming out here and you see kind of an orangish red structure underneath, those are those bud scales that are bright red, and you can see the leaves coming out of them. But it's really neat to see earlier in the spring. Well, here's some right here too. So right in here they have really large bud scales, and they've faded now, but they were nice, brighter red color. They're really pretty to see in the springtime. And compound leaves coming out of them. So this one right here with the white petals with the pink lines in it, that's the Spring Beauty. So up here they had two, oh, here's the other one. So here's the other one that we're comparing it to. What did you notice about the 2 white flowers? What did you notice the difference between the 2 white flowers that I showed you? So we found something alike, 5 petals. Do you see stripes on this one?
Well, there's stripes on both of them.
Stripes on this one and no stripes on that one. So find the flower, the white flower with the pink stripes. Spring Beauty. Spring Beauty is that one. So. Yeah, because it's beautiful and it's what time? Springtime.
Springtime.
Now the other one, that plain white one, take a look at the leaves. Do you see it has lots of deep notches in it?
For here.
Yep, this one right here is false rue anemone. False rue anemone. That's a tongue twister. Here's one of them. Look at the hairiness on this, like it forgot to shave. This one is wild anise or sweet Sicily. Who likes black licorice flavoring? There you go. So the pioneers would have used the root of that plant to flavor things with that anise flavoring. And there's another one here too that I wanted to point out. There it is, right over here.
This thing?
Well, we can do that one too, but this is the one I was looking at right here. Now, right now you see kind of these ball-shaped head of buds on there. Earlier, we would have been looking at this leaf arrangement here with white spots on it. You see in the early spring, when you got your spring ephemerals blooming, lots of this leaf with those white spots on it. As the spring progresses, the spots disappear and we get the flower buds on here. So think of the spots on that, and I just forgot the name. Okay. Oh, Virginia waterleaf. It must be time to retire. Huh? Virginia waterleaf is the name of this, so you can think of the water spots on the leaf. And then, so this will have some lavender flowers on it this month. They'll be opening up. This is bedstraw, and that plant got its name because of the pioneers in their bed sacks. Previously, they would have had straw in there, but it would slide around and get flat. But this plant could be stuffed in the sack because of the little Velcro hairs on it. It stayed in place, and then as it dries, it has kind of a nice smell to it. This will have some white flowers on it. You can see the buds on here, little white flowers you'll find on that one. But that's a fun thing for the kids when you're hiking. Little hitchhiker plant, that's my nickname for it. Okay, so here's a leaf arrangement we haven't seen yet. And I'm probably in your way there. Let me back up a little bit. How's that? Can you see now? Okay. So this ladder-like arrangement here, this is one of the Solomon seals. Now, I always have to wait for it to bloom or have buds on it before I can tell you whether it's the true Solomon seal or the false Solomon seal. So hopefully we can maybe find another one later with some buds on it. My guess is going to be the false, but we'll wait and see. I don't know.
Color flowers?
Yes, one has, and their fruit is different colors too. So we've got this one here, one of the Solomon seal, and then we also have this other leaf down in front here. Here's another one right here. So kind of a broad lance-shaped leaf with some spots on it. This goes by many different names, and I'm going to find it in the book here.
Like a lungwort?
It's let me get the picture for you. You will find thousands of them, and that leads to one of its names. We will just look it up in the back here. So it has several names. Dogtooth violet is one name. Trout lily, another name. I can't look and look up at the same time here. Okay. Let me concentrate here.
If we wait a little while, maybe this one here will blossom. We can see what it is.
It has gone to seed. You're going to wait a long time. Yes, here's one. Here's one that's gone to seed right there.
So they're done blooming.
Yes.
What color were they?
They were white, and I'll show you a picture of that. Yeah. Got to see which name they call it in here. Okay. Page 45. Okay, so here is your trout lily or dogtooth violet. It gets the name dogtooth because the white petals look like the canine teeth of a dog. Okay, trout lily name because it has the spots like the trout on it. It's also called thousand leaf because when we find it in other spots, well, you can kind of look in the undergrowth here, there's thousands of leaves there, so thousand leaf is another name for it. Now the interesting thing about this one is that individual plant won't bloom until it has 2 leaves on it. So let's look at the one that was blooming here and see it's got.
It has
Okay,
three.
well, I
At
think that's
least
it.
two.
I think that one's separate. So look at this right here. We got
Just two.
two leaves. So the plant has to be 6 or 7 years old before it produces a second leaf, and then it can flower.
Here was one.
Here are the 2 Solomon seal. We have, this is Solomon seal, or I would call it true Solomon seal. So you see you've got some white flowers hanging under the leaves all along the stem. Okay, and this will have a blue berries on it later.
Okay.
And then you have false Solomon seal with the showy flower cluster at the end of the leaves, and this will have some red berries later. Okay, so if we look at this, here we go. If we look at this particular plant right here, and I'll turn it up so you can see the flowers. If I can turn it around without it breaking, can you see the flower buds hanging off there? So this one is what?
True Solomon.
True Solomon seal. And my little story, I have to make up some little sayings to remember things. Okay, so for this one, and maybe this will help you, maybe not. But so this one has flowers all along the stem, and the berries are blue later. So here's my saying, corny maybe, but a true blue friend is with you all along the way. Okay? All right? A false friend will put on a big show at the end. That's how I remember it.
Else.
Correct.
It's something else.
Something that we looked at earlier. It has leaves like blades of grass, white with pink lines in it. That was our spring beauty.
Okay, it's just default. It's done.
Right, it's done.
Oh, it's past. Okay.
We were looking at this at the same time we looked at the false rue anemone, which you can see right here.
Okay.
Diane, that's a woodpecker, isn't it?
That was just calling yes.
Okay, but that's a pretty leaf with
Thi-
the red stem.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some invasive honeysuckle.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, we don't want this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so here's our, many of you have to go? Okay, so here's your last flower then. This looks like little munchkin umbrellas out in the woods here. This will be blooming in May, hence the name Mayapple. Mayapple. So this plant, like the trout lily that we looked at earlier, had to have has to have 2 flowers, or excuse me, 2 leaves. There we go, 2 leaves, 1, 2, before it'll get a flower bud. Yep, thanks for coming. This plant, the fruit, later will be a little apple, so Mayapple. And the plant is poisonous except for the ripened fruit. And people would make some preserves out of that. I've never eaten one because, what's that fine line between, yeah, fine line between ripened and unripened.
So what does the flower look like?
I was
Spectacular.
nice white flower, wonderful aroma to it. And let's find 83. Find that picture for you.
Those woodpeckers are desperate.
So here is your,
they probably are chattering at us because we're invading them.
yeah. So it will grow in colonies. So you'll often see large patches
Okay.
of it.
Okay. Cool. But once again, the leaves kind of hide it.
Yep, it's nodding
You have to look
underneath.
Underneath.
Do they
to
Yes.
see
all
it.
variegate like that?
I think that's just the sunshine.
Sunshine, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's an enhanced photo.
So I hope you've enjoyed the little wildflower walk. One can continue on the path, and there's even more flowers in the back. But this is a good example of the carpet of flowers that you get once you come back farther in the woods up on the hill here. So.
Hi, my name is Mike Stegman, Director of the Marshall County Conservation Board, and welcome to another episode of It's Our Nature on MIC TV. Today I've taken on another title as President of the Iowa Taxidermist Association, and we're holding our annual show in Marshalltown again this year. Probably the 8th, 9th year we've been here, and what it is a gathering of taxidermists not only from throughout Iowa but the Midwest, and we even have visitors here from New York and Louisiana this year. And what it is it's a venue where taxidermists can showcase their artwork and get it critiqued by judges in an attempt to better themselves for next year. Throughout the event we have seminars that go on. Again, it's mainly a teaching tool, a school if you will, again for the taxidermists, whether they be mammal taxidermists, birds, fish, or reptiles, to better themselves in the art of taxidermy.
I'm Kenneth Colors, and I live in Nebraska, about an hour north of Grand Island.
So what brought you here today?
Oh, come back to see people that I've met years and years ago, and just renew old friendships.
Do you have any favorite mounts here yet?
Not yet. No, I've just got in here and started looking around. So.
It's not just a visual outside thing, that you're thinking about what's going on underneath that skin. The muscle. Sure. So if you look at how the radial bone's shaped, okay, that's where those lines are going to fall.
Almost more like here.
Well, you know, you can feel this come down. You can actually run your finger. You can feel the drop, but this hard mechanical line is too pronounced. Just wouldn't happen in nature. Take another catfish and look how it features on the skin. You know, like any musculature, if your muscle's elongated, okay, there's not a lot of definition, but when it contracts, there is. So if there's curvature in here, the radial folds will be deep.
What's your favorite animal you've seen here?
The peacock.
Oh yeah, can you show the peacock over there? You want to eat the peacock? Yeah, what do you like? Zebra? Zebra, okay.
It just looks like we've been coming out for many years. They have a lot.
My name is Greg Cavalier, and I'm a taxidermist from Applington, Iowa. This is the first year at our state competition that we've had a Masters of Masters division, and it's for the upper level taxidermists who have either won a Best in the World title or a national title or are judging. So I brought some pieces to enter into that, and we're just here. Everybody comes. It's a great show, and we're just trying to learn and teach each other about taxidermy. So I've been judging for a while now, so I like to come to the show and see other pieces. It gives me ideas, and it just helps everybody else out too. So,
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about what you look for when you judge?
when you're judging, you're actually looking for anatomical accuracy. That's the first thing you're looking for, but you always want eye appeal too, something that should catch your eye. So you always want to start out with a piece that's a nice piece to begin with. You know, you want a nice, smooth-looking deer or raccoon or whatever you're doing, but when you're judging, you're actually looking for anything that has like lifelike features, your feet, your toes, the inside of the nose, the anatomy, eyes. It all has to be correct, what an actual live animal would look like. So that's what we are looking for.
Okay, so you've looked at a lot of deer.
Yep.
Okay, can you tell me some of the things that might have surprised you in the way they were displayed?
Well, it's just, I think some people don't go back and check the reference out and actually look what the live animal is supposed to be doing. If you take a reference picture and lay it right beside what you're doing, it surprises me that, you know, you've got to know what you're going to mount before you mount it. You can't just go in with your idea of what you think something looks like. Actually get some reference out and see what it's supposed to look like. So, yeah, that's...
Any advice to people just getting started?
I would say come to the shows, because you can learn more at any taxidermy show. You can sit in your shop by yourself for hours upon hours and think you know what you're doing, but come to a show and see what it's all about, because you can learn. Other taxidermists nowadays are so willing to share their knowledge of what they know. It's not like 25 years ago when we first started, everybody kept their own trade secrets. It's amazing now how many people you ask them, come up to guys, ask them, they'll tell you what to do. That is the best advice I can give anybody starting out, is don't be afraid to come to the show. Nobody likes to get told they're doing something wrong, but 99% of the time the people are nice about it and go ahead, you know, and tell you what you're doing wrong in a nice way, and come with an open mind to learn, and that's the best advice I'll give anybody.
Bubbles. Maybe it's an air hose. I couldn't do anything like that.
No, you know what? It's really tricky.
Where is that on here, you know? This mannequin here has a really skinny, that mannequin's got a real skinny face right in here. So again, what we could do is hold this, we got this eye socket, we can see the bridge of the nose, all right?
At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like 6 o'clock.
My name is Rick Lang. I'm the president of the Wisconsin Taxidermy Association. We are here in Marshalltown, Iowa. Our members tend to travel from state to state in a show of inter-association, interstate cooperation. One of our members is the judge here this weekend, and there's several of us are also down here competing.
Okay. Any surprises here today?
I was here last year, and I think the quality of the work this year is much better than it was last year. The competitors obviously paid attention to their critiques and took the ideas home, and it turned out better work. So
I typed her name in, see, and she used.